everybody. My name is Sofia. I'm very glad to be here. I love the speeches of the previous colleagues. Hola, I met Hola, I don't remember how, somewhere in Telegram in a small talk. And then she invited me to come here. And it was actually very interesting for me because I've been off work for a couple of years now. And I also have this síndrome de impostora that I think lots of women have. So for me, it was very cool for the last couple of days when I was preparing the presentation and preparing what I will say to review my career, to review the last years. And thank you, Hola, for the opportunity. So I'm Sofia. I consider myself a feminist. I have always been that. I want to thank you, everybody, for being here and the organizers for the organization of the event. First, I want to start with a small story about yesterday, about 8th of March in Ukraine. Because in Nicaragua, we used to, by the way, I was born in Kiev, but I was raised in Nicaragua. That's why I speak Spanish. And what I could kind of translate there, sorry about that. I'm not professional. It was very hard. Now I have such an admiration for those who can translate like that. It is very hard. So what I wanted to say that in Nicaragua, we commemorate the 8th of March as a day where we commemorate all the women that fought for our rights to everything, to be parts of in politics, to drive, to study, to everything. But in Ukraine is another story. I don't know if, probably you don't know, that in countries of that were used to be in the Soviet Union, 8th of March is not about women's rights, it's about beauty and spring and women being weak. And they even tell you, like, congratulations, girls. Yesterday I had that. I am part of a business community, of Ukrainian business community. Most of them are men, actually. And men write, congratulations, girls, on your day. And I was very mad. I was very angry because I'm not a girl on the first. I'm a woman. And if they call us girls, they make us look weaker. And I really ask to all Ukrainian women here, please do not use that. Do not say девочки. Because you make, especially in business, you make yourself weaker. And how you how you use that word, girls, in business, you are not girl, you are a woman, and we need to show that to men, that we are not girls. It was something that yesterday I was dealing, I was in every chat discussing about that, and I wanted to say it. So about myself, I speak fluently 4 languages. I speak English, Ukrainian, Spanish, and Russian, which is a language that I'm trying to forget. But it looks cool to say that I speak 4 languages. Temporarily, I live here in Valencia with my 2 kids. I've moved at the beginning. Actually, I wasn't. In the beginning of the war, I was not in Ukraine. I was in Thailand. And I wanted to tell this story a little bit about, because for me it's very important to tell about intuition, about how you need to really follow your intuition. So back in December of 2021, when all of those talks about war, about Russia having their troops on the border started, I was very scared. I thought that something will happen, that probably it might be something bad. So I convinced my husband to go on a vacation to Thailand. We left for a month. We left on January 5th to Thailand. We spent a month there, and my husband was ready to come back to Ukraine, and I told him, sorry, I'm not coming back. I don't want to go. I feel that something is going to happen, and I don't want to be there with my kids. It was hard because he did go back. He said that if something happened, he needs to be there to be in his home, to fight for his country. And I stayed there with the kids and with my mother-in-law. And the war started, and I was very, very grateful for that intuition that allowed me to not be there and to not be there with my kids. So I wanted to tell that story about intuition and how hard it has been for the past year for every Ukrainian person. I had to move. I had to choose where do I live, where do I want to live the next. I thought 2 months. All the time I thought that it will be 2 months. I will go back home, it will be only 2 months. So I spoke Spanish, my kids spoke Spanish because I thought since they were born I spoke to them in Spanish, and we came here. We came to Valencia. It was very random. We just came here. My kids are going to a school, and in the school, it's funny because I tell everybody that I come to Spain for Spanish, but my kids go to a school that speak English and French. But they are learning other languages. So yes. I have more than 10-year experience building a tech company. So let me tell you a little bit about this company. And this company I consider actually to be my first kid because we work very hard building it. It's called MacPaw. It's a software company that is located in Ukraine, in Kiev. We develop software and distribute software for macOS. Are there any Mac users here? So I hope that you know MacPaw and that you know, do you know Clean My Mac? Yes. I'm so happy because at the beginning when we started the company almost 15 years ago and we go for the United States, for example, to any conference, you met people and they had no idea about our company. And then when people started to know it, it felt so good. We are proudly Ukrainians. We have more than 30 million users, and our main program, as I told you, it's Clean My Mac. Now there are more than 500 employees in the company, and I'm very proud that 46% of them are women. We have always been very pro-Ukrainian company. We decided to stay in Ukraine after the Revolution of Dignity that happened in 2014. At the beginning, we thought we wanted to leave Ukraine actually before 2014. But then when the Revolution of Dignity started, and actually the war started back there, but we got this very patriotic feeling and we wanted to stay. We wanted to build the company, to change it, to change how companies work, because our company is very focused on our employees. We are a very employee-centered company. We have very deep values. We believe that everybody can join our company and be part of this new reality, of this very cool community that we are growing. And we have, besides our products, we have, I think, 6 right now products active. We have also different projects. We have tech, sorry, I forgot the word. We have an invest fund. That was the word. An invest fund that for the last 5 years have been investing in Ukrainian startups, in Ukrainian tech startups. We also have MacPaw Foundation. MacPaw Foundation we founded it in 2016. We we before just gave money to social projects to develop mainly in Kiev, but also all over Ukraine, in education also, we changed the city as well. And started from the beginning of the war, we have been helping the army. We have been buying tactical equipment, medical equipment. We already donated more than $5.5 million to the war to help Ukraine win it. A little bit about our gender distribution. It's very interesting because everywhere, I guess, is the same, even though that we are 48% women, and most departments are equal, are 50-50, but engineering, of course, is you can see the amount of males in engineering. It's not something that we can change quickly, and not right now. Right now, we are concentrated on winning the war only. But it's something that can be changed through education, of course. Through education, especially in Ukraine, especially when in Ukraine still women are tender and need to be given flowers on the 8th of March. Especially when I have a daughter. And I hate when they tell my daughter, you need to be a good хозяйка. How do you say it in English? Housekeeper. you need to be a good housekeeper. No, she doesn't. She needs to be whatever she wants to be. She wants to be a housekeeper, it's great, but she doesn't need to be a housekeeper. I'm also very proud that in our company, our CTO, Chief Technological Officer, is a woman. She actually wrote yesterday a little article in our local forum. And if you go Doe, probably you know Doe, and if you go and see the article about women talking about their experience, you can see the comments from men. It's horrible. They are just horrible. They make fun of things that women say. For example, she was telling about when she was in a conference when she's an engineer, so most of them were men. She was mainly the only woman. And all the time men come here and where's the coffee? How do I get to the toilet? And things like that, because they thought that she was the organizer. She wasn't one of them, one of the engineers. And although they are making fun of that, making fun of those comments, so I think the gender gap in Ukraine is still very big, in tech especially. And it's our work to do something about that, so our kids don't have this problem. To be honest, in our company, I don't feel it. I have never felt this gap, but I'm not an engineer either. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my path, about my career. I'm not an engineer, so I didn't have these problems, and I have not felt any gender problems, but I know that they are, and I know that we have lots of things to do in Ukraine when we come back and we change our society and we change our country. That's one of the things that we really need to work with. So my path, I mainly work in MacPaw, because the company is 15 years old and I've been there since the beginning. So before MacPaw, I actually had another very big career change. I used to study medicine and then I quit after 4 years. And back then I felt like a loser. I felt a loser that quit, because I liked it, I still like it very much, but it was very hard. And I didn't understand back then that it was, again, that intuition that was telling me you won't be very happy if you continue in doing this. You need to change something in your life. And I'm glad that I heard it, even though it was very hard to hear it back then. As hard as it was to not go back home, for example, and leave my husband back then. But the intuition is very important. So I started in the company. It was a startup. It was only 5 people. We had no idea what we were doing back then. We were very young. I was 23 years old back then. And I started as a customer support specialist. I just answered emails from clients. I love that I start my career path in customer support, actually, because you get to know the customer, and that allowed me to then knowing for whom we are doing that software, that we are not doing it for, as Silvia told, for engineers. See, there are other people that are using the software. And I stayed in customer support around a year, and then we had this problem that we need to sell this software. So I changed to marketing. I had no idea what marketing was. No idea, honestly, when I started. And it was very interesting that, okay, marketing, let's do it. And you go and do it. And that's why I love startups. And I dream about going back to a small startup, because it's an environment where you do everything, where you are very excited. I still remember those times, and I love it. When you want to do marketing, okay, do it. And that's how it started. And I grew the department from myself to being like around 30 people when I left marketing. And the thing that helped me the most is that I always hired people that were better than I am. It is very important to hire people that are better than you are. It's something that we are struggling right now in the company, because it's hard for managers to hire someone that they might be their competition in the future. But I didn't have that problem, so we grew the team, and we have a very, very good team. At what point, in around 2014, the company was already 75 people and was total chaos. So we decided that we need to change things and you can do operations. And I had no idea what operations was either, but I was, yes, okay, I'll do operations. And I started with HR. The first thing that I do is that I build the HR department. I implemented different processes like onboarding, hiring. Hiring is extremely important, and we did that process from the beginning. And I loved my time in operations. I think that is what I really like to do. I like to solve problems. I like to build processes. I love to do lists and to do things to improve things. I think that is my true passion in operations. Then, during all this time, happened two things that are very difficult in any woman's life, very, very happy and very difficult. I have my first daughter back in 2017, and then my son in 2019. And this is something that I wanted also to pay attention to, because we are all about success, success, success. Let's build our careers, do more, do better. And when my daughter was born, I tried to do that. I felt very bad. I went back to work when she was 3 months old. And I was lucky that I was living very close to the office, so I could feed her, and I could somehow manage it. Then she was around 18 months when I finally felt myself. I finally felt that I will go back completely to work. I went to INSEAD. If you know, there is this very famous business school in France. And then I got pregnant with my son. It was planned, but it was too fast. I didn't want it to happen that fast. So I didn't have enough time to go back to work, and I had the second child. And after he was born, I worked around 1 year, but I felt horrible. It was horrible for me. I felt a terrible mother. I was terrible at my work, and I was thinking, what should I do? And I couldn't make the decision. But at the end, I decided. The pandemic happened. COVID happened. Everybody went to work from home. I had 2 small children. They were screaming, and I was trying to work. And I decided, no. I cannot do it. I need to take time off. And I think it's been one of my best decisions, because I really was unhappy back then. And when I took time for myself, I took time for my kids, I really became happy. And at the beginning, I was very, how much time am I talking? Sorry, I forgot, 18 minutes, sorry. 2 more minutes. So what I wanted to say is that it's the decision of every woman. If you want to be happy being home with your kids, or you want to be happy at work, or the women that are able to, like Anna, I don't know, I have no idea how you do it, 3 kids and work, it's incredible. And it's so cool that we all can make our decisions and we can do whatever makes us happy. So my key takeaways from my path and my experience building the company: first is trust your intuition. It took me around 38 years to understand that I have this superpower that I didn't use before, didn't really use it. Now I use it all the time. Very important, stay true to your values. Find people that share your values, a company that share your values. This way you will be able to speak up, to think, say what you think. Lead by example as well. And most important, take care of yourself, because we women used to be mothers for the company. I was a mother for my company. I felt that I left my first child when I left the company. It was very hard to do, but it was the right decision. And now, after 4 years, I'm ready to start another baby, another company, probably by myself, not with my husband. And yes, it's very exciting times. Thank you.